when you grab a hold of me. You tell me that I would never be set free. Well, I'm a parasite, mama, without a creeping, crawling, I slip into the night. 2 pints of booze. Tell me, are you a bad bitch too? You a bad bitch too now? Ain't got no money to spend. I hope this night would never ever end. Yeah, Lord knows that I'm weak. Won't somebody get me off of this here reef? Well, baby, you're a big blue whale. Yes, I grabbed that reef when all the diving failed. I could swim, but I wish I never learned. I said the water's much too polluted with germs. But I dive deep when it's 10 feet overhead. Oh, and I grabbed that reef right underneath my bed. Underneath my bed, y'all. Ain't got no quarrels with God. I got no time to get old. No, no, no. Lord knows that I'm weak. Won't somebody...
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearlessly Authentic. How is everybody doing tonight? We got Steve over here.
Yo.
Let's see. Elle, I sent you a link. If you're listening, I did send you a link. Let's see who we got in here tonight. Oh, look at that. What? Hi, Elle.
Hello.
I was just going to check in and see who we have with us tonight.
Okay, I'm going to close the door.
Okay. We got Riley and Cirrus. You guys are discussing dips for, for stuff? Oh, yeah. Let's see. And we got Miguel. Hi, Miguel. And Elle has warned everybody. She's got shit to say tonight.
Yeah.
And let's see. We got Oz Whistles.
We love you, Oz Whistles.
And Kim. How are you, Kim?
We love everyone. Miguel, hello.
Little said squirrels for Elle.
Put your squirrels up in the chat.
Put your squirrels up. Let's get them squirrels going. Of course you are. You gotta.
I was getting an avatar before.
You need to say no. You need to speak to the people, Steve. Steve is tired. He's gonna go lay down. He just gets up.
Good night, Steve.
So, like, yeah,
Hey,
don't tell the
Vicky.
people. Like, don't tell people that you're not like gonna be there anymore. Just go. It's okay.
Oh,
Kate and Shelly. Shelly's encouraging you to go off. Like they're very excited about this.
no encouragement needed, but thank you. I feel like my avatar says a lot so far if you dig into it.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll stay on YouTube as long as we can, but we are also
This dog will not shut up. Sorry. Go ahead.
we're also on Rumble and Odyssey for everybody. You guys might want to get your Odyssey and Rumble like situated. Because we'll be over there.
I might get canceled.
Well, we're not going to stay on YouTube.
Susan will cancel me.
Who? Susan Sarandon?
No, Susan Wojcicki. Whatever her fucking name is.
I don't know.
The CEO of YouTube.
Oh. The YouTube people cancel you. Oh, yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah,
people will probably cancel me too. I really don't give a fuck though. So just like the government, I don't give a fuck. So
well, they don't give a fuck about us. So I mean,
they never have, they never will. I don't appeal to them. Continue.
Continue.
I appeal to the people. I care about the people. I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I don't give a fuck about psychopathic, sociopathic, pedophile, war criminals. I never have. I never will.
Yeah. I'm grabbing our Odyssey and Rumble link as we speak here to put them in the chat. Everyone wants to make sure that you have either one ready. You're signed up, so you can go over there after or now, whatever you want to do. But yeah,
we need a safe space.
I know we won't get canceled.
Oh fuck.
Yes, Cirrus, we need to duck and cover. I don't know exactly what you were talking about, but yes. Kate said,
"You're not on my shit list, Cirrus."
Kate said, "I just made another cup of coffee for a homemade latte. So gonna be up for a long, long time." Well, Kate, I'm glad you're here and all coffeeed up.
I do have visual aids as well tonight.
Barbara.
Sorry if my air is audible, but it's hot.
Mine might be too. I have the AC running. Like I usually don't
I have my Vornado on.
A Vornado?
That's what it's called. It's a Vornado. It's
I have the same
Very
one. I have
good
one
fan.
too. Yeah, they are.
When I got richer, I got a Vornado. I was like, I hit it big time.
Oh
I
man.
can afford a Vornado.
Maybe I don't
The
have
dog
a
is
Vornado.
not stopping. I don't know if you can hear the dog in the background either, but
Yes.
it is a little one. It is outside. It is very angry or sad or happy. I don't know which. Right.
We got V.S. Adams in the house. I don't want to miss anybody.
Oslo Fave, we love you. Thanks for coming. Alex. Now Peaches is getting in on the action.
Yeah, there we go. We just, get them all. Get them all at once. Fuck, man. Peaches, that's enough. Popeye. Popeye. All right.
The Sailor Man.
I know, right? Popeye the Sailor Man. Lady Alex said, let's abort YouTube. Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Not right now, though.
Has the fave. All right. Who else? Anybody else we got in here? Did I get everybody? Everybody that said hi. If I haven't caught you, if I missed your name, I'm sorry, but welcome to the show. This is gonna be a good one. I was telling Shelly before the show. Oh my god! And I do not love your creepy refaces, Oslo. They scare me so, like, they freak me out. The reface things freak me out. It does. Oh my god, it's like the Body Snatchers or something. And here's Leo. Hey, at least you can't. Can we reface Leo and make Leo into all kinds of cute things? Can we do that? Leo would be a cuter reface. Oh my god, I don't know what's wrong with the bird.
It's the dog. I bet the dog did. I apologize if it was the dog.
Are you scratching my chair? Will I get up? Really? Oh. So, what do you want to start with, Elle? What's on your mind? What's been going on? Nothing in this world, right? Like, we don't have anything
happening at all in my neighborhood or anything.
I know everything must be like just completely blowing up in your area.
The picture that I wanted to paint in my avatar, which I chose two. I chose one and then I forgot where it was. And then I chose a different one on the internet in the private search. And then I went with this one instead because it's more people and they're happier. So this represents the psychopaths and sociopaths in charge of everything. And they're all clinking their glasses at the performative protests that are happening across the globe about a Supreme Court decision that was already leaked in advance. Because that's what happens, you know, they just leak shit a couple months in advance before, you know, getting ready to blow everything out of the water later, and then have, you know, watching as everybody falls in line to do exactly what they expected them to do, which is exactly what is happening at this very moment in so many cities and states and probably countries that are probably not very aware of the fact that this country has slightly better laws regarding abortion access than other countries that may or may not be in Europe. So these are just, you know, this is just a representation of that. I wanted to really drive that home because that's the topic I want to discuss, is the hypocrisy aspect of everything that's going on, especially towards bodily autonomy, which apparently just means one thing now and doesn't apply to everyone in terms of what they put in their bodies and what the government tells them to put or not put in their bodies, which we'll go into in detail, I'm sure, in the Rumble part and the Odyssey part of the program. Oh, also, I wanted to discuss the police brutality aspect of it and how people are focused on it in the media that wouldn't dare focus on it when it came to mandate protests, which they did not even bother to cover.
Yeah. And we wonder, like, you know, on Thursday, you know, Shelly and I covered about how the Social Security Administration, you know, the IRS, they've been stockpiling up on weapons for years now. This has been going for years. And they're shooting people accidentally. You think that it's an accident that they have a stockpile of ammo and they're trying to cause all this division and all this hate and rage all the people and like suddenly like trigger everybody? I mean,
but the other thing is, like, the only people who should have guns, as we all know, is the military and the police. Right? The Capitol Police specifically. If we want to get really specific about it, then the Capitol Police should have the guns, as well as the IRS, I guess. But you know what? It's just important that they be able to protect themselves and kill people on sight whenever they feel like it. That's just very important to the state and to the public, because not everyone should have a gun. That's disgusting. If everybody has a gun, that's wrong. But we have to give it to the military, who is busy killing people in different countries in our name with our money, and with our weapons that we bought for the Nazis in Ukraine. You know what? That's important, that we need to give them all the ammunition that we can, and also the militarized police as well. But not when it comes to these performative protests. No. Those are the ones that we need to disarm them for. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. Love that aspect of it as well. Just loving all of it.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
I have a machete. I have nothing to worry about. Come at me, bro.
It's pretty nuts, like that, you know, the government feels like they want to just have complete control over not only us, but the whole world, you know, like it just, it's not a far reach. It's not a far reach.
And it's not like there was a passage or a chapter in COVID-19, The Great Reset, written by Klaus Schwab. We know him well. And his ghostwriter, I assume, Thierry
Can you imagine being a ghostwriter for an evil?
I would imagine. I can't say for sure that he's his ghostwriter, but I would assume so, since they work on that and the Fourth Industrial Revolution together. But anyway, it's not like there's a chapter about civil unrest coming out of the pandemic. It's not like that's a chapter in there that focuses greatly on protests that are mostly performative in nature and don't do anything to move the dial in one direction or another.
Absolutely.
And performative protests are my favorite. I love seeing people all fall in line, doing exactly what they're told by the state and thinking that they're going against the state. It makes me so happy to see. Not as happy as the people in my picture, in my avatar, though. They're way happier. Picture that scene from Mr. Robot.
They get to use their extra military. They get to justify, you know, having more weapons. They get to justify all the things, and they get what they want.
And you're
And
distracted
they're covering
from the gun
up
bill.
for everything else that's happening around the world that they're doing.
And you're distracted, and you're busy getting COVID, which is going to be the next topic. Watch him fucking learn. That's what's going to fucking happen, especially in LA, where they've been trying to get the mask mandate, which I've been telling you about. They've been trying. Every time I look at the local news, they're like, oh, are we going to get the mask mandate reimposed? Oh, but we, don't have enough people in the hospital. And are we going to get there? And, oh, well, you have enough protests, you'll get there, because they'll make up some shit. Because that's what they do. They'll make a case-demic up. And, oh, rising numbers. And now we got hospitalizations. And, oh, shit, everybody should have just stayed home. That's what it'll be. The Pride Month stuff, they were doing it there. And now they're going to do it with the protests. I'm not stupid.
There was some naked bicycle riding people at a protest. I don't remember if it was Seattle or New York. It was one of the big ones. It was like a pride thing, and people are like, they're riding their bikes naked in front of kids. It's like, are you kidding me? What the hell? Seriously. That's your biggest concern. A naked person, a human, not doing any, like, riding a bike naked is not a sexualized thing. Why would you want to ride a bike naked?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. We have to agree there.
Yeah. I mean, come on. That's just, that can't be. Or they were some of them were in G-strings or something, but I'm still thinking, like, really, like, I mean, like, that's kind of like, ew.
Hey, Mr. Wilson, welcome to my rant.
Wilson today was staring at the egg. It was interesting. He stared at the egg for hours.
Clothes for bikes. The clothes are for bikes.
I mean, there's bike shorts for a reason. I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know that I would want to be naked on a bike. Like, that just doesn't seem like, like that's some contact that you're having with the seat. And if something happened, I mean, like, you're really kind of exposed there.
Mr. Wilson wants to expose himself to the audience. He wants to join us for the broadcast.
Oh boy. All right.
Do you have some shit to say? I have some shit to say. My body, my calories. Yes, indeed, General Meow Meow.
All right.
You can
Well
eat
said.
however much you want. You can sleep with however many people you want, but you can't escape our jabs.
There you go, Wilson. I put the link in there for you.
So other than that, I was thinking the COVID part, like the fact that the children are exposed now to a gene therapy drug that is experimental in nature and has not been clinically trialed to the extent that you would want it to be. And that will probably get them what they want in terms of dead babies. We'll see what happens. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson. Hello.
Are you muted? You're muted. We can't hear you.
I left him with dead babies.
Thing. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Oh my God! It's the government, man. The government. Why wouldn't you know?
Fuck the government.
Leo, it's your buddy, Mr. Wilson. Say, my name is on that wall behind Wilson. It is. I'm famous. Uh-oh. Sound electronic again.
Oh no.
You're sounding all like computerized.
It's YouTube. It's Susan. She's upset. She heard dead babies and she's like, I'm cutting this short.
Uh-oh. Oh, did he freeze? Did you freeze? Oh.
I'm sorry. My echo cancellation, automatic mic adjustment. This might work. All right, you guys keep on talking. I don't know why this is happening to me.
Me all this year.
I know.
Oh, hello, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't know, Mr. Wilson is in Pakistan, and he's a friend of ours, friend of the show. He frequently drops in and just comes and hangs out, and he does silly things. And I call him slightly inappropriate Pakistani man, but he's probably like really inappropriate Pakistani man is probably a better like description. But we love Mr. Wilson and all the inappropriateness.
Yes, I love Mr. Wilson for sure.
He's sounding electronic again on my end.
Oh man.
Oh, now you're fine.
There it goes.
I don't know what to do.
Now it's okay.
Am I better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. So I wanted to tell you why riding a bike naked will be fucking weird, right?
Right? Let's circle back to that.
What are you guys talking about? Riding a bike naked? It's not that, What are you talking about? We have clothes
People
for
were
a fucking
doing
reason.
It was on Twitter.
If it's on Twitter, it has to be real.
It's a video of people riding a bike naked.
That's a movement? What is that?
I don't know where it went because it was like on my Twitter feed, or else I would pull it up and show you guys.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Your internet went out, or you went electronic.
Yeah, this is the protest of the year, Miguel. Like that we should all, band together.
Band to get beaten?
And join together against the government, which is partly responsible for the problem, as usual. Mainly
government, man.
There you are.
Government is after us, man. I don't know what is happening, dude. I'm trying. Like, why is this happening to me? I think it's
better now.
Mainly, all right. It's better now. Yeah, I just made a whole point about how to,
Damn it. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Wow.
There.
Okay, fuck it. This is ruining your stream as well. I'm gonna
No.
just hop off. Oh shit.
Are
It's
you
just
live
ruining
right
your
now?
stream. I'm not live, but I
He's alive.
am Mr. Wilson again. So that's really something. Yeah.
Do you like to
I
ride
probably
bikes naked? Do you ride your bike
I
naked?
like to ride bikes, but not naked, right?
It's not normal in Pakistan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Every time. Oh,
Every time I say but, it just stops, right? But okay, yeah. Let's talk about butts.
it doesn't like our
Yeah.
naked bike rides.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about butts, baby.
I mean, what are you guys talking about? I'm fucking for freedom, like all the way and shit, but I don't want to fucking see unwarranted dicks, right?
It was women too. Oh no.
Yeah, give me, like if you are giving me titties, right? Like, I don't know. Okay, just okay, but I feel like if I make a point, it might be taken away from me because of the internet. Oh man, what the fuck is this all about? All right, you guys go ahead. You guys were probably saying something productive, and I barged in with my weak ass internet. Shit.
We appreciate you.
We do. We appreciate you very much. Oh.
no. We love you.
It doesn't like us.
Susan doesn't love you, but we love you. I don't think Susan loves any of us. To be fair.
Oh, and it dropped.
Well,
we love you, Wilson.
I put something in the private chat so that we can remember how the government never lies to us and always tells the truth. So why would they do that here?
Oh gosh.
Just a little flashback. It's relevant. It's not super relevant, but I circle back to the topic with the same person, of course. So if you guys remember, this is from, what is this from? Precisely December 4th, 2020, during the pandemic. They came out. The government came out. They gave him a little script, and he read it. And he said, in no uncertain terms, that we would not have a mandatory vaccine. So let's hear that again. Yes. Just a reminder of what happened and what eventually happened after that.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide. I'll do everything in my power as President of the United States to encourage people to do the right thing, and when they do it, demonstrate that it matters. That's why I said in my inaugural speech, I'm going to ask people to commit for 100 days to wear a mask. Not because I'm asking it for any reason to punish. This is not a political issue. It's become one. But if people do it for 100 days in the middle of what will be still a raging crisis, and the vaccine is able to be distributed, they're going to see deaths drop off the edge. They're going to see hundreds of thousands of people not getting sick. And my hope is they'll be then inclined to say, okay, it's worth the patriotic duty to go ahead and protect other people. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
And then September 9th, 2021 was when he announced the vaccine mandates. The new ones. Those were the new ones. I couldn't find one with like the original ones on the YouTube. But just a reminder that they say shit all the time and then they change their mind. But this is according to the script. And of course, he's not in charge, or he would have been able to fix that, right? He would have been able to make it so that that wouldn't be something that would happen. And then we also have to remember, going back to the original issue of abortion or pro-choice or whatever.
Oh my
he
God.
was anti-choice.
There's a naked bicycle ride in Vancouver.
Okay. I'm glad that they have that to
That's so
do.
great.
I'm sure that's really going to change a lot for them in terms of chafing, probably. But
Oh my God, this doesn't seem very comfortable. That's all.
okay, if you go to the next thing, then we can get back to the topic and just look at like what NBC News of all people like put out with when I was like looking up his original position, Trump's original position, to be honest, because he was all like chuffed, all so excited about the SCOTUS decision. And then I'm like, wait a second, I remember something happening in the past and him having a completely different position on that, kind of like a politician. So then they did the favor to me of having a flashback moment on that day, and they uploaded the position of both Trump and Biden. So we can see how they looked at things in the recent past. Thanks, NBC News. Wow.
Trump ban partial birth abortion?
Well, look, I'm very pro-choice. I hate the concept of abortion. I hate it. I hate everything it stands for. I cringe when I listen to people debating the subject. But I just believe in choice. And again, it may be a little bit of a New York background because there is some different attitude in different parts of the country. And, I was raised in New York and grew up and work and everything else in New York City. But I am strongly for choice, and yet I hate the concept of abortion.
But you would not ban it?
No.
Or ban partial birth abortion?
No, I am pro-choice in every respect and as far as it goes, but I just hate it.
Let me turn to abortion. The ban on partial birth abortions or late-term abortions, you supported that ban.
I did, and I do.
You believe that Roe v. Wade was not correctly decided, and that you also believe that a right of abortion was not secured by the Constitution. Why did you change your mind?
Roe v. Wade is as close to we're going to be able to get as a society that incorporates the general lines of debate within Christendom, Judaism, and other faiths, where it basically says there is a sliding scale relating to viability of a fetus. We can argue about whether or not it's precisely set, whether it's right or wrong in terms of its 3 months as opposed to 2 months, but it does encompass, I've come to conclude, the only means by which in this heterogeneous society of ours, we can reach some general accommodation on what is a religiously charged and a publicly charged debate.
You believe that life begins at conception?
I am prepared to accept my church's view. I think it's a tough one. I have to accept that on faith. That is a tough decision for me. But there is a point relatively soon where viability, it's clear to me when there's viability, meaning the ability to survive outside the womb, that I don't have any doubt.
Thanks for watching.
So, yeah. So this is just his hypocrisy on bodily autonomy. One, or the government specifically, because again, he's not in charge. None of these people were in charge. But specifically, like the first clip that I showed was him saying that there wouldn't be vaccine mandates. And then eventually that happened. And it's like, oh, oops, never mind. Public health, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason. Okay. But now he's taking the position, and many politicians are taking the position that they have been pro-choice and pro-bodily autonomy when they have not. And that is clear to see. And then Kamala Harris actually comes out and does her performative fucking speech about abortion access and everything, when she doesn't give two fucks about bodily autonomy either. None of these people in charge give a shit about your body at all, except what they can put into it without your permission. That's what the fuck they want to do. So I just don't see how looking to them or hoping that they'll help your cause is going to help anything, because people who are looking to AOC for help are going to be very, very disappointed in the end. Just like the rest.
Womp. You're not getting anywhere with her. Like,
they're performative. They are performing for you. They are in charge. They would have done something if they could, if they wanted to do something, they could have done it. That has been mentioned in other broadcasts. I'm not going to like take everybody's shit, but like, you know what happened with Obama. You know what happened with the previous administrations, and the lip service that they give to these issues. And then also it's a very divisive issue, which is very, very convenient for the people in charge. Look at my avatar. So that gets them worried about that. And whilst we're worrying about that and attacking each other, you know what they're doing? Planning a fucking recession, which is already starting to happen. And I have receipts for that.
All part of the plan.
Well.
This is all part of the plan. And they're doing this as they're distracting us with something that is important. Roe v. Wade is important. We're not saying it's not important, but we are saying that what they are putting the focus on, they are doing this for their own benefit, for their good. They've had this sitting there waiting to be played. They're playing their cards. This is all part of it. They are distracting us with Roe v. Wade. Although it is a really important issue, it's everything else that they're using to cover up with it. That's also important. And we need to not lose our focus. We need to not lose where, we get distracted and we start talking about one singular thing when all these things are happening behind the scenes, and that have been slowly getting ready and escalating this. Like, you think the government isn't stockpiling weapons and ammo into different agencies, federal agencies, for a reason? For a long time, since Obama. This is all a lot of things, a lot of turning points. You'll notice that there's like really pinnacle moments where things start to go a certain way and they start to change at certain times when things started to happen. If you start looking at these patterns, you realize how much of it all ties together.
So I put in the private chat the next thing to look at from Yahoo News, Yahoo Finance, my go-to for videos, and they're discussing the recession and what's going to happen. So there's a fucking idea right now, and I'm going to show the next thing and you'll see what I'm talking about, like on paper. But there's an idea to get into a recession to deal with the inflation. Like, they have an idea, soft landing, and the same fucking approach that they're talking about, which I will come back to, we'll circle back to it, as I like to say, is they use the same language, soft landing, in this Yahoo article that I'm going to bring up after this, and then also in the World Economic Forum websites that I found something about it. There's nothing about abortion on that website right now. So all I got to fucking tell you is they got other shit planned, and that's what they're focused on that website. But if you want to go ahead and look at that video, let me see if there's a really good part to get to. I would say let's go to 25 seconds in. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize. I'm very excited about tonight. Yes, we have a private chat, Riley. It's where I put the screenshot stuff, the screen share stuff. But I give it to you as well, because you get to see everything that we see.
Yeah,
we love you.
I didn't put any of those out there yet. We're going a little bit faster.
I have. I'm on that.
Onto Rumble in Odyssey?
Oh, not there. Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm on YouTube with it.
Yeah, I have to put them there as well. I'm trying to keep up on everything.
Sorry about that. I'm going too fast. I have so much on my fucking mind. I told you guys.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep up on everything.
No, I get it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You said 27?
keeps coming up. Huh?
You said 27 seconds in?
25 or 27 is fine. Either
Okay.
way. I just know because of the ticker at the, not the ticker, but like the chyron at the bottom will say recession, and or not the bottom, on the video. So I figured that's when it starts.
Okay.
I'm just using my brain.
Okay. All right. I'm just putting some links into the Rumble and the Odyssey.
I can
You
do
better-
the Rumble if that helps. I can start doing it. I have
Yeah.
it in the other corner. I just have to sign in.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, if I only have to do the Odyssey, it makes it easier. Okay. Yes, and the bike ride thing does keep coming up. So yeah, it was in Seattle. It was the bike ride in Seattle. That's what Barbara was saying. So I think that is the right one. Okay. Whoa. There's a lot going on in the chat, guys. I'm trying to keep up on everything. Hi, Prop. Prop is in here too with Wilson. Yeah, you guys, I know the whole naked biking thing. I don't know about the whole naked biking thing. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm going to play the video, and I'll try to catch up on the chat as we're playing the video.
out and putting out their own probabilities for when they think an economic downturn will happen. And it just marks such a quick change in sentiment from just a few weeks ago when it seemed that the consensus was, oh, well, a recession is on the radar, but it's probably unlikely at this point, to now a recession is pretty likely, and it's just a matter of when it will come and how severe it will be. Just think about late April when Deutsche Bank came out and was the first to make that recession call, and everyone kind of raised their eyebrows at that and thought it was premature and a bit exaggerated. And now all of the big banks are coming out and saying that a recession is, you know, on the horizon. You have Citibank saying that there's a 50% chance, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, all putting the odds above 30%. So a really dramatic change here among the big banks. And
yeah, raising the likelihood. What are they saying the reasoning is for the change? And like, how do they figure out these probabilities anyway? I always wonder this kind of stuff.
Well, obviously, last week's rate hike was the big game changer here. And that's when everyone kind of came out and started putting out these probabilities. But all of them, you know, they're watching the same economic indicators, but they all emphasize different points in the notes that they've put out. Citibank specifically pointing to a slowdown in consumer spending, Goldman Sachs pointing to higher gas prices as the reasoning. You know, obviously that will weigh on people spending money and probably motivate the Fed to act more aggressively. And BlackRock, which is not a bank but an asset manager, put out an interesting note earlier this week saying that
BlackRock
inevitable if the Fed moves forward with its rate hikes, no matter what happens, just because they're so late to addressing the issue of inflation.
As some people say, recession's inevitable. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen in the next year. Or
it's just a matter of when.
Continue to change their forecasts as time goes on.
This is from June 24th, 2022. So if you were wondering, it's from 2 days ago. Yeah, so while you're looking over here, this is what's happening to everyone.
Yeah, it's forecasted, but it's also been like they've created that. Like that was part of the plan. Yes. They think that the only way we're going to get out of it is, and they circularly think about our economy as if workers wanting more wages to survive things, that suddenly, you know, like that they need to charge more for the goods, and it's just going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. But yet what they're forgetting about is the profits. It's the profits.
Yes.
It's how much they make on the backs of the slave labor
I don't
that
know if
they create.
they're forgetting about it. They're just kind of not worried about
Well,
it.
the people in Yahoo Finance and everywhere else are
Well, all they care
forgetting
about
to
is profit.
mention it. They're forgetting that that's a part of it when they're reporting on it. That's what I mean.
I don't know.
Like,
I think a lot of them are paid to have a certain perspective.
well, yeah, I'm being like sarcastic when I'm saying they're forgetting about it. Like they're not really forgetting about it. Obviously, they just forget to mention that. That's how it works. That they're
Or that they're
no, they
like-
want to maximize profits off of the backs of the working class and anybody
But that's so
who works.
normalized to them that they don't even think of it as a bad thing. Like that's the problem. But I also put the Yahoo article so we could look a little bit more into the recession situation, because not a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people are talking about the recession angle that's going on, because they're so focused over here that they're kind of ignoring what's going on over here and there and everywhere else. And I wanted to discover everything else and really get into the deep dive of what's going on behind the scenes, which is what I care about the most. Not what's happening in front of my eyes. Usually what's happening in front of my eyes is not the big story. Usually that's a story that's being told to me through smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
because what's really happening behind the scenes that they're not
Or
saying
who's
that something
on the
is
screen.
more important or less important. It's the narrative control of what is to be the focus of importance over, as opposed to because it's like we have to single-mindedly, narrowly think about things as opposed to looking at it from the whole wide perspective of all these things are happening. They expect that you will focus on the one thing and forget the rest. Like we're going to forget how much gas costs and how much our groceries cost because of Roe v. Wade.
And bread.
No,
Oh my God.
it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Well, is it worth risking recession to get inflation under control? That's what Yahoo News is asking here.
Oh my
It's
God,
a
they're
legit
idiots.
article on Yahoo News. It's not like an aggregate. I tried to find the original source, and I'm pretty sure this is it. So this is Yahoo again. Like Yahoo really wants this. I wonder who wants it on their behalf. But yeah, this is from June 26th, so it's pretty recent. It's from today. So 11:08 a.m. So I got this for you today, guys, and I try to give you as much information as I can about what I'm looking at, what we're looking at, so you'd be as informed as we are, most likely. And also I want to circle back to the bodily autonomy, to the next pandemic situation, but I think I'm going to circle back to that, just so you guys know, in the next part, in the Rumble and the Odyssey part. So just look out for that later. So if we could just get into this article, is pretty crazy. By most measures, the U.S. economy has thrived in the 2+ years since it was abruptly derailed by the government yet again. They'll blame it on the coronavirus, but the coronavirus didn't take my job away. That was the government, but okay. But all those gains, low unemployment, a booming stock market, steady wage growth, have been overshadowed in many ways by persistent inflation that has pushed prices upward at the fastest rate in a generation. Earlier this week, at a hearing before the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, Jerome Powell, our Federal Reserve Chairman, told Congress it's essential to bring inflation down to a more sustainable rate. So let that be known that they don't want to just bring inflation down just to a sustainable rate. They don't want to get rid of inflation entirely. That does not suit their purposes. They want to get it down to a more sustainable rate. Look at the language that they use. That's very important that we parse that. Powell insisted that the Fed isn't trying to provoke a recession. No, they're not trying at all. But acknowledged that it was certainly a possibility that efforts to slow down the economy through interest rate hikes could help to create one. So you're just helping to create one. You don't want to, but you just gotta. Inflation, both today and historically, has many causes, but the options that policy makers have to tame it are limited. The most potent tool is to raise interest rates, which they've done, which makes it more expensive to borrow money and reduces the total amount of money moving around the economy. Over the decades, interest rate hikes have proven effective at getting inflation under control. Under control. I love when they use the word control because that's what it's all about. But they very often result in recession. Oh, funny that. It took a major increase in interest rates to subdue the severe inflation of the late 1970s, leading to a brutal recession in the early 1980s. Earlier this month, the Fed raised rates by 0.75 of a percentage point, the biggest hike since 1994. More rate increases are expected in the near future. Many economic forecasters say the Fed's efforts to control inflation have increased the likelihood that the U.S. will enter a recession in the next year. So get ready for some more hard times. Experts say it's still possible for the Fed to engineer a soft landing. You're going to hear that again in the WEF article for the economy, in which well-targeted hikes temper inflation without stunting economic growth. But given how difficult that needle may be to thread, there's debates over whether it's worth risking a recession if it means getting inflation under control. Advocates for aggressively attacking inflation may say rising prices are the greatest risk facing the economy, and that failing to tame inflation now could bring about catastrophic conditions like those seen in the 1970s. Many also agree with Powell's assessment that the economy is well positioned to absorb a slowdown because so many indicators, particularly unemployment, which funny that because in my situation that I actually have personally, I got 3 months of unemployment, upwards of $2,000. I think it was like less than that. But once you run out of that money here, they don't give you any more unemployment. It doesn't matter if it's a year-long claim, you're done, which means you can't reopen a claim. I can't. They told me on the phone, I cannot reopen a claim. I cannot get unemployment after 3 months, after getting rid of the $126. I'm going to be real with you, $126 per week that I was granted for 3 months. I'm not allowed to get any more unemployment after that. So if that's me, how many other fucking schmoes out there are unable to get a job and unable to collect unemployment? Just think about that. Just putting that out there. Anyway, are so strong right now. Others say that tackling inflation will mean imposing some real harm, but argue that the pain will only become more severe the longer policymakers wait to act. That's what they always say, isn't it? They always say, oh, it's going to be way worse if we don't act on it now, you know, even though we're doing it to you. We're fucking you real hard here, but you know what? It's going to be a brutal rape if you don't fucking, you know, let us keep control of you. Like, that's how it is. Critics of this view make the case that interest rate hikes aren't the solution to our current problem of inflation, which they argue is mostly caused by supply issues. Not Russia? It's not Russia? I thought it was Russia.
I thought it was Putin. It's always Putin. No, he must feel left out.
Oh, it's second. Never mind. Resulting from the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is second now. They don't even have it number one anymore because they can't. Oh, man. Oh, we lost Alex. I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't want to lose you, but I have to bring this shit up because nobody else is. Under questioning from Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, a Democrat, at this week's hearing, Powell conceded that higher interest rates are unlikely to reduce the cost of gas or groceries. Inflation is like an illness, and the medicines needed The medicine needs to be tailored to the specific problem, she said. The danger she and others argue is that rate hikes will cause unemployment to spike and stifle investment while doing little to alleviate the excess price increases that are causing the most difficulty for Americans. So what's next, basically, is the next part of this shithole article. Powell has indicated that another rate hike of 0.5 or 0.75% may be in order when the Fed has its next meeting in late July. So that's something to look forward to. And
Another hike.
And maybe
They just
sometime
did
before.
one, didn't they?
Yes,
Didn't they
it may be some time. Yeah, that's what they said before. Now they're saying they're doing it again. It may be some time before it becomes clear whether these increases are making a meaningful impact on inflation. I don't think they are. I think we should maybe wait and see what happens with this one before we get to that point, but you're not going to do that. That's fine. Perspectives. The longer we wait to get serious about inflation, the more severe the response will be. A recession is becoming increasingly likely, but the longer we wait, the tougher will be the medicine when we face it. Funny how they keep fucking saying medicine. It's funny how that keeps coming up, isn't it? Am I wrong? Medicine. It's like they want you to think of medicine right now and healthcare and public health situations. Interesting. Interest rate increases will not remedy the major causes of the current inflation, huge pent-up worldwide demand from 2 years of pandemic, shortages of goods and services responding to that demand, Putin's war in Ukraine, and big profitable corporations with enough pricing power to use inflation as a cover for pushing up prices even further, says Robert Reich, our favorite fucking dude from the Bill Clinton administration, who ended up being such a fucking warrior for us in the past, kind of like Bernie, and then said, fuck it, I'll just take the money. Oh my gosh. Don't have heroes. Just don't have heroes. Key point. The economy is in a good position to absorb some of the impacts of rate hikes. So these are different perspectives, as they said, from different people. So you don't know which one's right and which one's wrong, which is great because you are just as clueless as you were when you came into the article. And that's what you want. As recession warnings pile up, it is important to keep in mind what matters to the real economy, hiring and consumer spending. It's fine, even preferable to the Fed, for hiring and consumer spending to downgrade from strong to solid. As long as the rich and upper middle class continue to spend, there probably won't be a recession. You know, kind of like in 2007 and 2008. You know, when that happened. But that doesn't mean the economy will feel good to many, if not most Americans. Heather Long from Washington Post, whom I definitely trust on this issue and every other issue. Then we got the Hill. Of course, we can't leave out the Hill. Inflation is bad, but rising unemployment is worse. The Fed and haughty experts ignore that while higher prices are certainly painful, they're far preferable to the trauma of losing a job. That's good old Lee Speakerman's very succinct comment on the situation. A small recession that gets the economy back to stability is worth it. A mild recession, just a mild one, you know? We need a mild recession every once in a while, right? Just to keep things afloat. That manages to hold on to low unemployment would spare most workers from layoffs. And if the Fed is able to bring down inflation relatively soon, I gotta find it. Oh, forget it. Let me go back. Okay. Relatively soon, a contracting economy might not be as bad as it now seems to be, says the dude from Fortune, Tristan Bove. The wrong response could stunt economic growth for a generation. Millions of Americans are going to be deliberately thrown out of work because of an economic model says that the only way to blunt inflation while the seed corn of the next generation is eaten and the basic investments we need to sustain a productive economy are put off. David Dayan from American Prospect. We're here because the Fed has been too timid to go after inflation. We're here because the Fed exists, but okay. No one wants a slower economy, much less a recession, but a measure of economic pain is the price we must bear for a combination of bad policy and bad luck. Yes, the havoc wreaked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine played a part, particularly in the surge in energy and food prices, but so have policy errors for which the central bank bears significant responsibility along with the Biden administration, said Stephen Ratner from New York Times. Then we got the burden of curbing inflation shouldn't fall on the working class. No shit. From this genius, Michael Hiltzik, sorry, dude. Placing the livelihoods of working men and women at risk as though they're the people responsible for inflation is exactly the wrong approach. No shit, Sherlock. Like, everybody can figure that out.
Yeah, like every idiot, they found every fucking idiot to fucking give them a quote about this. Like, this is...
Yes.
That's their article? Like,
that's their
quotes?
article. Like, you just...
Their article is quotes of a bunch of fucking mainstream media and fucking shit lips. Like, that's their article.
Anyway, it just continues to Bloomberg, which we really want to know what they fucking feel about it. But we can just silently look at their stupid comments now because I don't want to read them anymore. But I guess we end on Bloomberg, and then we can go to the WEF article because WEF. What the WEF? We got to have the WEF. The WEF is not going to be left alone in any of my deep dives because the WEF is responsible for a lot of this shit. The WEF, the World Economic Forum. But in the meantime, I'm going to put that in the Rumble chat for when people get there. There. Oh, no. Well, I'll put that in there too. I'll put both of them in there. But anyway, this is me getting into the weeds about the recession situation and how I noticed the same fucking thing in the WEF article, which is literally titled, "How Does Squeezing the Life Out of an Economy Help It Revive?" Which is the same shit. It's the same fucking soft landing approach. So I apologize if it's like kind of boring, this topic or whatever, but it's kind of affecting all of us. So I thought I'd talk about it a bit.
Phoenix said, "Yep, I hear you. I'm currently on the streets working odd jobs. It's not enough. I've been trying to get housing, middle finger, SSI, middle finger.
Yeah.
A lot like myself and Callie, we are getting hit firsthand. Yeah, it's insane.
Phoenix.
And
the housing market is insane right now too, which is very recession-y to me, very reminiscent of a recession to have shit and not affordable at all.
Baba Yaga,
we love you.
Yeah, and yeah, it's going to be booming business for the crickets. Yes,
right. Yeah, eat your crickets and lentils and shut the fuck up. That's what WEF says. It is.
Hi, Angela and Jelly.
Thanks, Angela.
I saw something else that up here that Shelly had said about what they're doing with Social Security and how, like they're going to privatize that. And, they're all these moves that they're making all at the same time. This is all connected.
Everything is connected.
Everything. Yeah. Everything is connected.
Literally. And Bill Gates is connected to a lot of it too. Like too much.
Oh yeah, here it is. Shelley said Biden just appointed someone to the Social Security board that's about privatizing Social Security and shit. So shit's definitely about to hit the fan. Yes, that's something to definitely watch. And pay attention to the fact that they also have a stockpile of ammo and weapons at Social Security. Not just the IRS, but Social Security has a stockpile of weapons and ammo. This is a real serious issue, guys. Like, I know that it can feel like, very conspiratorial, whatever the fuck, like,
it's not, it's their conspiracy. We're just exposing it.
I know. We're coming with facts though that back this up. And if you guys didn't see the show on Thursdays, you should check out Thursday's show about the ammo and the weapons, because this is legitimate. There are receipts for these things that are happening, and yet everybody's going off about Roe v. Wade, and it's very important. But also what is also
That's why it's being
important
used.
is the financial aspect of everything that they're doing.
But
when it
also,
comes
if we're gonna be fucking honest, bodily autonomy stopped being an issue that they were ever going to do anything about when mandates were put in place. Once you allowed them inside your body, you don't get to say, oh, okay, you can't be in my body anymore. That's not how that fucking works. Once they have control forever. And by the way, somebody told me to watch The Obsolete Man. I don't remember who it was. So if you're out there, I watched it last night after Beauty and the Boomer. And I have to say that was a really good episode of The Twilight Zone. Aside from the religion aspect of it, I got where they were going with it. But I did enjoy the cinematography and the script and the idea itself. And Rod Serling's a genius. Let's give him a shout out. He's dead, probably, most likely. But, Rod Serling, you did your thing. Good for you. But anyway.
But yeah, I'm just letting everyone know that all of these things that we are covering, all the puzzle pieces that we're throwing at you, we're coming to you with this as fact-based opinions. Like, our opinions are based upon the fact of these things that are happening, that we're bringing you facts. So I wish it wasn't the case. I wish it wasn't.
I don't want to bore anyone or bug anyone with this information. I'm giving you information that I'm getting so you can be as aware as I am of things. I want everyone to be on the same page. And thank you, Riley Martian. You're the one who suggested it. I appreciate it. Thank you for the suggestion. I do take in account your suggestions in the comments. And if you tell me something to watch, I'll probably give it a look-see, because I have no job, so I have time on my hands, and I watch stuff every day. I watched Glass the other day. It was not as bad as people thought, but I thought it could have been better, the movie. And I watch movies as much as I can just to catch up on what I missed during 2019 to 2022 when I didn't go to any fucking movies for various reasons, and some to do with mandates at theaters and stuff. So, anywho, not just theaters, but SAG and everything.
Phoenix, this is exactly what we are working towards. Phoenix said, I want to team up with like-minded people, pull our resources together, and get some land. I want to really rise above the situation, take action, tired of being in a rule. Yeah, exactly. This is it. And we need to do that. We want to do that, but we also have to do it knowing what the big players are doing in this, so that we can figure out how to do that, because I feel like that's coming. I feel like it's coming.
Sorry about the sirens.
It's okay. I feel like shit's gonna hit the fan, and it's gonna the tipping point is I'm surprised we haven't already tipped. Honestly, I'm really, really surprised that our tipping point hasn't already come. That the country, hasn't already just broken off into different segments and stuff like that. It's pretty insane what the amount of oppression that we have collectively allowed from our government.
If you look at history is a great teacher, as they say in the Obsolete Man. But if you look at history, then you see examples of when a movement rises and gets, well known or whatever, and people involved get taken apart by the government through all kinds of means, including COINTELPRO, but they get fractured. There's groups that get fractured. This is why I believe individualism isn't the worst thing in the world, in that we can all work together individually in actions, in defiant actions, whereas they cannot fracture us as a group. They wouldn't be able to fracture us if we're not in a group. Then they can't really figure us out. and they can't go after us. They would have to go after us individually and find us. And they can only find us if we're in a group out there. That's like protesting, silent protests or protests alone, I think would have a bigger impact than in groups, because people in groups can be very easily swayed one direction or another. In history, we've seen it multiple times in recent history as well with Antifa and whatnot.
We can shut things down other ways. We don't have to be in the streets to shut things down. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like this is that we should have other weapons in our arsenal, so to speak, when it comes to defiance of the state. And if it's a permitted protest, I don't consider it a protest. Sorry, that's not a protest. If you have a permit to be in one place at one particular time, that's a rally, and it's also a demonstration. It's very good, but it's also not a protest. So a protest is against the state and is usually against state interests. And so I consider these performative protests because they are not against the state interests, because many in the state have led us to this moment and are responsible for the protests in the first place, if that makes sense, in many ways. Not even just the abortion angle, but the bodily autonomy angle that I mentioned before, which everyone can get on board with or they cannot. But it's up to you. If you're not on board with it, then I can't be on board with your thing, and you're not on board with my thing. And how is that going to work? Because we're both being dicks there. So everybody be on the same fucking team, please. And then
you can't be against the state and for mandates. That doesn't that you not without being a hypocrite. You can't.
Yeah.
No, that's hypocritical. You can't be pro state. No, but hang on. You can't be pro state. You can't be for the state and then be against mandates or against that abortion. Like, that's stupid. You can't, logically, that doesn't make sense. That makes you a hypocrite. That means that you're not really standing for anything, and it's just fucking it's political fucking theater. That's all it's
cognitive dissonance as well, like that on both sides of that thing. So I am going to bring up the sex scandal. I don't know if it's such a surprise because I mentioned it before, but we'll get into it again. We'll circle back to that little, don't worry. But I just wanted to get into the WEF article real quick while we have the soft landing in our heads still before we get into other things.
Yeah.
Because I saw that term, and I was like, oh, look who's using it here. Funny. Are they connected to Yahoo? I mean, this just screamed, read me. Why would I not read this? I just looked up recession and this came up. But the front page is just financial shit and like talking about this health conference thing. We'll look at that in a minute, I guess, and give you those details. Yeah, many countries are raising interest rates to combat inflation. Same shit. This effectively pulls money out of economies and can trigger significant unemployment. Same shit. Despite the pain it inflicts, the policy move isn't very well understood. The farmers got out of hand. That was one congressman's assessment after protesting agriculturalists descended on Washington, D.C. in 1979, tossed a live goat over the White House fence, caused millions of dollars in damage with their tractors, and forced an awkward confrontation with central bankers over high interest rates that were making it hard to take out such much-needed loans. I guess that's what that says. Little did they know things would only get worse. By 1981, the country's benchmark interest rate was raised to nearly 20%, forbidding enough to not just slam the brakes on the economy, but also to strip the tires and park it on cinder blocks. Borrowing money to buy a house could incur an 18.5% rate at that point, requiring nearly a fifth of what was owed to be regularly paid to lenders for the privilege of doing business with them and making home ownership seem impossible. The target of this painful effort, rising inflation. It worked. Core inflation in the U.S. topped 13% in 1980, but was down to 3.2% by 1983, restoring faith and enabling growth. Now interest rates are again being hiked to beat back inflation. The benchmark rate in the U.S. was increased last week by the largest amount since 1994, which we heard before in the other article, so they're just repeating the same shit. Slightly milder bumps were made recently in the UK, Canada, Brazil, and South Korea. More dramatic lifting was triggered in Argentina, Egypt, and Ukraine, a country trying to prevent the collapse of its currency after being invaded by Russia. And then it has a little chart, and then it says raising rates generally denies people easy access to money. Businesses, meanwhile, become less willing to invest and hire in ways that normally put additional income into pockets. They also increasingly hesitate to raise prices. Overall, things steadily downshift into slow motion. The method of fighting inflation has been likened to, this method has been likened to chemotherapy. Dismal treatment that steadily lays waste to the body of an economy, just enough to rid it of disease, but not enough to kill it. That sounds nice.
Again, with the medical stuff, like, again, and the fact that, cancer used to be a pretty rare thing to happen. Now it's 1 in 2. Well, 1 in 2 people.
And also, this is from June 22nd, just to give you the date. Okay, so then it says, if central bankers squeeze too much life out of an economy, it can be difficult to revive and may result in rampant unemployment. So they aim for a soft landing that blunts inflation without triggering a recession, which we heard about in the last article. So just telling you that. In the 1980s, Israel managed to use rate hikes to whittle rampant inflation down to almost nothing as unemployment rose only slightly. Other efforts have been less successful. According to a recent analysis, the U.S. Federal Reserve has notched just one true soft landing out. 1 out of 9 interest rate hikes since 1961. So let's give it another try, I guess. There are also concerns about the lack of precision involved in the policy move. It's been noted that Russia is responsible for sending prices of food and fuel higher, for example, though raising rates won't do much to target Russia's war effort, but it will target the average person's buying power, which is the whole point. Despite endless headlines about interest rates and inflation, general understanding of what's at stake can be less than perfect. One poll found, what's this poll? Let me see what this poll is, because I don't trust these motherfuckers. Nationwide.com, Nationwide Retirement Institute Inflation Flash Poll Report. This is from February 2022. That's for deeper analysis. It found many Americans were worried about the idea of rising rates, but a quarter of Gen Z respondents were simply confused. And then we got an Onion article.
Wonder why they're confused, because, it makes no sense. We don't want to end the war with, we're going to help Ukraine continue to fight the war, right? We're going to keep funding that, which we're going to blame Russia for the problem, right? We're going to blame Russia. It's their fault.
Yes.
But we're going to keep funding that, and that's why we have to pay. I wonder why they're confused, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not fucking logical. This isn't how, you logically, I'm not an economist, and I understand what the fuck they're doing. I wonder why they're confused, Al. I mean, who's not? Because it seems like their tactics of this and their storyline and everything they're blaming this on, it's confusing because it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Because they're throwing shit at a fan and saying, "Oh, look, that was Putin. He did it. He's a naked bike rider. He threw the shit at the fan."
Well, if you go past the stupid tweet, which I don't read tweets unless they're really relevant in articles. They're just trying to make more room.
It's an
give
onion.
more, you
It's
know,
an onion
they're
tweet.
just
Come on.
trying to be funny, I guess. It's such a funny tweet. The Onion is hilarious, though. This is sarcasm. Anyway, rising rates can have implications for inequality. Good to know. People who were unable to take advantage of low rates to buy a home may now be at an even sharper wealth disadvantage, and those with significant debt may be squeezed. Hey, remember when they were going to get rid of student debt? That was funny. Anyway, moving on. An analysis in Australia last year suggested high household debt levels meant the benchmark interest rate couldn't rise past 2% without seriously threatening consumer spending. The target for that rate was lifted to 0.85% earlier this month. And if I click on analysis, I can get that article and put it in there for you guys to read from ampcapital.com. Econosites, that's the name of the article thing. How will households respond to higher interest rates? And this is from November 25th, 2021. So I'll put that in the links as well as usual. All right, coming at you. Hold on.
I grabbed it and put it in the Odyssey.
I got you in the YouTubes and I got you in the Rumbles.
All right.
I got you guys, so you don't have to go looking for this shit in the article and everything. I got you. Okay. All right. Then it says, in the U.S., rate hikes are expected to hamper efforts to close racial unemployment gaps. The rate for Black Americans is about 6% compared with an overall rate of 3.6%. I don't even want to get that one, but I'm sure that's probably outdated. Let me see. I want to make sure beforehand. This is from Fred. I don't even know what Fred is, but all right. Fred.stlouisfed.org. So it's unemployment rate Black or African American versus overall, I guess. So yeah, that they went to this economic research website for that information. But anyway, what year is it though? I have to see what year it is. 2022, May 2022. Fair enough then. Fair enough. All right, y'all win that one. Okay. So then, and in Denmark, rising rates would likely hit female business owners disproportionately hard. I really don't believe that one, but I'm not going to look at it. Still, the alternative may be worse. Mounting inflation can trigger unrest. By the way, how do you even know they're female? Anyway, moving on. A cost of living protest in Brussels earlier this week drew 70,000 people. Central bankers need to demonstrate that somebody's in control. They can't lose control.
As if we're the ones out of control. Like as if right? The people are out of control by not spending the money that they don't have to spend.
Do what we want.
What? What is happening?
In the early 1980s, going back to the 80s, Paul Volcker was suited for that job. The unflappable Federal Reserve chairman smoked his way through cheap cigars while compelling concerned interviewers to retrieve his errant burning matches. Okay, this is random. And conquered a crisis of credibility with dramatic moves. Now, some wonder if central bankers need to act more like Paul Volcker. More reading on interest rates and inflation. And they give you more stuff that you can look at, but I don't really want to put in there. But anyway, yeah, this is written by John Letzing, who's the digital director of the Strategic Intelligence portion of the World Economic Forum. They do a lot of charts and stuff. They're very special.
Oh, wow. Look at the fanciness of that chart.
Correct.
What the hell is happening? It's moving.
Minji Sung, data visuals and content specialist, strategic intelligence, or lack thereof, World Economic Forum. And if you go to the front page of the World Economic Forum, all you have to do is do WEF Forum, WEFORUM.org, and you will see, as I have seen, that there's nothing. Well, maybe they've changed it. No, these are the topics that they are putting out there in front Right now, as of today, June 26th, 2022. And the first thing is on cybersecurity. And it says 6 steps to validate cyber incident response plans in times of conflict. Cyber attacks have become a widespread risk to governments and businesses. Here are key things to consider when evaluating cyber incident response capabilities. And then below that, we have trade and investment as a category. And it says understanding the WTO ministerial meeting, what just happened and what's next. Humanitarian action, World Refugee Day, 4 experts on how leaders can support marginalized groups in the workplace. And then taxes, here's how rising global interest rates could impact your life. And then financial and monetary systems, how to squeeze in the life out of an economy, help it revive. Oh yeah, that was on the first page. So that's where I found this on the first page. I apologize for being wrong before. And then of course, if you go down, you scroll down, you see an electrical vehicle, an electric vehicle. And it's talking about their battery charge and stuff. This EV battery can travel 1,200 kilometers on a single charge. Yes, that's how I say kilometers, and get over it. And then Austria offers up to 1,000 euro per resident to fight inflation. Then we got flexible work favored over 4-day working week, and rethinking how institutions respond to global crises. Not one thing about bodily autonomy or what's the word? Roe v. Wade, or anything to do with healthcare or abortion access or whatever, pro-choice or whatever. There's nothing there. It's all coronavirus.
But we scroll down farther, and it's always about what's the effort for what's the next pandemic, because we've heard Biden say that recently. The next pandemic, like there's going to be another pandemic.
That leads us to the next pandemic.
They're telling us.
Sorry.
They're telling us. They're saying it. We have to pay attention to what they're saying, because when you start seeing, like Elle was pointing out, repeat language across like different articles and different platforms, we have to really pay attention to that, because when they're repeating these things, that's done for a reason. That's on purpose. So that's already in our minds. It's already there. Oh yeah, I heard about that. It's not a new thing. It's not shocking. Your mind is only shocked by something like the first time it hears it, right? So the next time we hear it and we're like, yeah, we heard that, but we need to pay attention and don't become accustomed to things like this, where we hear the term the next pandemic that's coming and we're like, I heard that, like we need to make sure that we keep that fresh in our mind, that is something that's new, it's being repeated, and don't let that shock value of that like just fade away, because that's how they normalize it. They make it where you hear it over and over again. So it's like, we knew that was coming, don't just accept it. Don't accept the things that they're saying as it's going to be inevitable, that it's happening, that don't normalize what they're saying when they are doing that on purpose. Like when they're normalizing it, don't let it happen that way. Don't let it be something that it's just like, it's gonna happen. Don't just accept it automatically. Try to challenge that and notice the patterns of when you're gonna hear that again and how many times you're gonna hear it again, because it's something we always bring up, is connecting the dots to what they've said in the past to what they're saying again, and the patterns of how we're getting to where we are. Because I feel like when we hear the same things over and over again, and they'll do this, they'll say that they'll be talking about the next pandemic in the middle of all of this that's happening, while our attention is on Roe v. Wade, our attention's on that, but we still need to hold attention on to other things. We need to stop being singly focused on just a singular issue. We have to pay attention to what these people that are in power, in powerful positions, are doing and what they're saying, because they are framing the narrative. They are framing what is going to happen, what is to come. And the only way that we can be on top of it and is by paying attention and not letting them distract us from what's really happening. I feel like that's really, really important. I feel like a lot of people are slipping back into the swing of things, as you know, we kind of come down to a lull, and then all of a sudden there's like this new, like this thing that's really highly important, but it's a distraction. They are using these other things that they know will rile up people, get people aggressive and angry and out in the streets. They're doing all the other things behind the scenes. We cannot lose focus on what they're doing behind the scenes, on the things that they're planting, the seeds that they're planting into everybody's mind nonstop, subliminally, like out in front, and the reason why you see it, I think, and from so many different angles all the time, is because they want to keep planting those seeds so that it's not shocking to your brain. You've already heard it before. I don't know.
Could we check out the chat while I nosh?
Yeah.
I'll be done in noshing in a moment.
But yeah, I feel that this is really, really important that we pay attention. Oh my gosh. And these kids with the masks, that just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. All right. Where were we in the chat? All right. Oh man. So how is everybody, guys? Let's do a check-in. How is everybody really doing? And Oz, you are right. U.S. aggression against Russia has done this. It's definitely pushed us to where we are. Let's see. Oh, Phoenix, yes. We are you on Twitter? Because if you're on Twitter, that would be a good place. I don't really do Facebook, but there's a lot of us that are on Twitter that have been talking about doing the intentional community, and I would definitely like to talk to you more about that. We do discuss that on here, and we do have some things in the works to work towards that, and some information. So that would be awesome. Yeah, VS Adams, you're right. Correct, Oz. Whistle sanctions coming home to bite us in the ass. Yes, that's exactly. Julie, they are. They're keeping us down. And naked bike riders. Yes. It's a real thing. Yeah. And Oz, you're right. Hence, all war is class war. That's very, very true. And it is about class. I mean, how many people grow up thinking that they are less than somebody else because of their economic status? How many little kids are like, yeah, well, I don't get as much for my birthday, or I don't have the right shoes, and they get bullied in school for not having the right shoes, as opposed to a response being, oh, well, maybe we could help that person get like better clothes, or like, what can we do to help this person in our community? Instead, they're looked down upon. Like, oh, they live on the other side of the tracks. They live on the wrong side of the tracks. Like, as if there should be a wrong side to any of this, as if it shouldn't be about, well, if they're not doing so great, but I'm doing okay, then I can help them and I can still do good. Why is that not the perspective that people have? Why do we get stuck in this whole individual idealism and forget that other people, like, they need your help? You know, like imagine if you're, you know, in school, it wasn't about, you know, being put down because you didn't have the right shoes. Imagine if it was like, oh, what, you're like against helping our community? Like you're, you know what I mean? Like, what if it was completely the opposite? And people can say it's a pipe dream. But I believe we can do better. I believe that we can do this with our community. I believe that we have the power to do this. Every one of us.
We've got the power.
Baba Yaga, if you actually knew what's happening around the world and the threats and the moves that play, we would be a lot more concerned. But unless you read reports about the war right in front of you, you wouldn't know anything is happening. Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. It's
a lot of people are busy living their lives for now.
Yeah, and
people do have jobs. Most people do. I think a lot of people do have jobs, so they're working a certain amount of time, and they're not as aware of what's happening.
Well, when I was, you know, working and had Skylar in school, and she was little, and you know, I didn't have time to like catch up on everything that was happening. I wasn't, you know, as heavy into, you know, politics as I am now and what's happening. And that's by distraction. That is by design. They want you distracted. They want you, you know, trying to work 3 jobs so that you can afford to pay your bills and feed your kid and get to work and not be paying attention to the rest of everything else. That's what they want.
Obedient workers. Workers who aren't aware of how badly they're getting fucked in the ass by red, white, and blue. I don't know exactly the line, but I'm paraphrasing from George Carlin.
I had like Skyla's, you know, she graduated from high school, but she went to it was a middle college is what it was called. It was a high school where you actually went to school at the college and you got college credits. And one of the teachers was like, well, yeah, I mean, but, you know, minimum wage is fine. You know, you guys, like, minimum wage is like $13 an hour. Like they don't get that. She's like, that's fine if you're living at home and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no amount of labor is okay at $13 an hour. Just because like it's above the federal average, that doesn't mean that you're getting the value for value. That doesn't mean that. What can you get for $13 after they take away your Social Security out of that, which they're still actively taking that money from people, and they're saying that you probably won't have it when you're older. Like, what the fuck? This is fucked. Like, we're taking this away, and you might not benefit from it. And even if like you have Social Security, we can take it away if we want to. We can deny it to you, even if you have enough credits. We can still deny you Social Security.
If the government gave it to you, it isn't really yours because they can take it away at any given moment. Like,
but they take it from you to begin with. They literally take it from you. You don't have a choice.
That's what they do here. Also, like, they have the rebate, this fake ass rebate that they have that they're gonna like use to give billions or whatever to the public in California out of the budget that they had a surplus in, which is super strange because you were supposed to get COVID funding. And where did it all go? Where did all the homeless, you know, shelter money go and all of this stuff? Like, there's stuff going on there that they have money to give back to us, which is from our taxes that we paid. originally. So it's pretty fucked up that they're like, oh, wait, we'll give you all this money back. And then they don't even say that it's new money. They say it's a rebate. Like they say it already. And you're like, oh, thanks for the money that I already gave you that you pissed away. And now you still have. I mean, you pissed away your own funding somewhere else in another organization and then didn't use the money that we gave you for something else. And now are giving it back to us. Like, oops, we didn't do anything with it. So here you can have it again. But that doesn't make sense. Taxes don't make sense. Let's just say fucking for real. Taxes don't make sense. The Fed doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense that go
And
to
the Fed,
us.
the
They
Fed,
take sense away from us. Go on.
the
I was
Fed
going somewhere.
making the interest rate rules. The Fed was developed in secret. The Fed is not a government agency. It is not, and they're in charge of the money.
They are private.
It is so insane. All these private government partnerships. What is the
Which,
definition
you know,
of
some
fascism
people
again? What is that
want.
definition?
Yeah. Well, speaking of fascism, we have a new pandemic coming up, according to the fascists in charge, making money off of it from Pfizer and Moderna, etc. I don't know if J&J is still in the club, but I think they got kicked out of the club. So, sorry, J&J. I know you were at the Event 201 tabletop exercise in 2019, but you just didn't cut it. You couldn't cut it. Sorry, somebody had to lose.
Did they hurt too many babies with their baby powder, or with the opioid crisis?
I mean, they could have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those shitty blood clots.
Little, no. Little, no.
That was a Scooby-Doo reference, chat.
What? Oh, no. You see what Shelley said? The WHO just declared monkeypox a pandemic. Is that real?
Disclose said the other day, I was confused. They said it wasn't. And I was like, huh? How does this make sense? So if I read that,
Shelley?
I'll read
Are you
it.
messing
Hold
with
on.
me?
I feel like it would have been a top page of shitty Twitter, but let me see what it says again.
But remember, Twitter was trying to make that the thing. Remember, they were really like, they were trying to make it a thing.
It says WHO declares monkeypox does currently not constitute a global health emergency. So it's a double negative. It's very confusing. I was like, disclose? What the fuck are you saying? Who said this?
Yes.
Meanwhile, Boy Scouts are marching at a Seattle Pride Parade, so that's fun. Good for them.
Yeah, the Boy Scouts. Yeah, Boy Scout organization. They're really good. They're wholesome, right? They're wholesome, just like those Catholic priests. Yeah.
They got their outfits on. It's all very lovely and wholesome. Speaking of wholesome,
abortions are not directly related to the bike riding thing. No, that was just a separate thing. I kind of like, brought up the naked bike riders because I saw it, and it just it was just a funny thing that caught on.
I hope it doesn't catch on, for their sake, for their own.
I don't care if people are naked or not. I just don't want anyone to force me to be naked. I made a joke. Oh,
see my joke. I hope it doesn't catch on just for their sake.
Oh.
Thank you. Eventually. Anyway, I put the article in there just to show the headline, not to get into the article or anything. I'm not going to probably read that many articles. I will keep from boring you guys to tears. But there is an agenda happening to get money for the next pandemic. So I wanted to show
Are we going to be able to continue this on YouTube?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this video is the last thing.
No, we're
Is
just
that-
showing. Let's show the headline of the article, and then we'll go into the video. So we have the
Where is the article?
cause and effect. It's before my gonna nosh, so we can look at
Oh.
chat before that. I tell you
Oh,
everything that I do because I'm an open book chat. So if I say I'm gonna nosh in the chat, I'm saying it in the private chat, or if I'm saying it in the private chat, I'm saying it in the chat. So you guys know that I'm eating at some point. So if I'm not as vocal, that's why. So yeah, Biden to unveil plan for next pandemic while seeking 88 billion in funds. This is originally from Bloomberg. We don't have to see it. Just take in the headline and I'll put it in the chat if you miss it. I think I went over it at some point. I barely remember going over it at some point. If I didn't, then I will just put it in the chat anyways, and you can just read it at your leisure.
Yeah, I put it in the Odyssey. You got it, Rumble?
And I did the YouTubes in the room.
Okay.
And okay, so that leads us into, okay, the first thing I wanted you to notice in this video was the very, very, very beginning of it, and we're not going to watch much of it. It's little bitty chipped parts of it. So the very first part, it oddly cuts out. And then you hear
Oh, God, this is just not good.
No.
It's children. We
Stop
have to-
putting him around children, please.
We need
Don't let
to be
him around
careful
children.
what we're saying on YouTube.
No, we're not. No, we're not saying that. We're going to let it speak for itself because mostly I wanted to focus on the press. How's me drinking water? Okay, if you play this and then with no sound,
Oh, okay.
because you don't need the sound. It's irrelevant to what I'm trying to say. So this is him at a clinic before the speech. So this is important. This is going to come up later. So he's around all these children, little children who are now available as target demographic for Pfizer and Moderna shots. So that's him with the children. So then it skips this feed entirely. It doesn't even show any of it. It just starts to show this and then it cuts out if you continue. See? Isn't that fucking weird? What are we missing? What is wrong with the press? What is with this? Like, I've never seen them so fucking inept. And they're
What the
usually
hell?
inept. And they talk during this part. I can't remember what's like most interesting in this part.
They
But
just
if you put on,
they're zooming in on the microphone.
oh yeah, if you put it on top speed, like if you put it on a 1.25 or 1.5 speed, then we can hear the stuff and probably get away with it for copyright or whatever. 1.5 is probably best. It's slow anyway, so it makes sense. So if you turn on the
copyright
volume-
doesn't matter. They can get me for the image of having this on the screen.
Well, you know what? They're going to do what they got to do. So we're almost done here. But anyway, just to give you an idea. So maybe I'll just explain what they say. They make fun of him a little bit here. And I'll just like talk over it. So then they're talking about like what they're doing. Here's what they say.
How's he doing? He's like this, right?
They're making fun of him. Yeah.
We good? Yeah, we're good.
They made fun of him. They're laughing at him. And so they don't even take him seriously. Like Brandon is not taken seriously by anyone. And then this chick says, oh, I just saw Jurassic Park, whichever one it was. That was pretty good. So it's just like this feed with all this like the press like talking to each other. And this is, mind you, before the conference about what it says there. For the
Yeah, the
and
top
they're just
up
like
there.
regular day at work, no big whoop. So then just to give you the atmosphere of that ridiculous fucking conference, he doesn't come in until 10 minutes until the end. I'm not even kidding. And he comes in with an RN and he starts his speech. If you go to like 15, I think it's 15. Yeah, right there. See what he says right in the very beginning.
Our fight against the pandemic, for our community,
Illuminating.
for a healthcare worker like me, and for our families. It was an honor to welcome him and the First Lady to our clinic earlier today, the President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. As you can tell, I didn't want to leave the clinic. Children are wonderful.
Turn it down a little bit because you can't really hear him.
For that introduction, and Jill and I were honored to visit your clinic today.
Okay. What?
No, I mean the speed. If you go back to 125, then that would be easier to understand. So then back it up.
With your fellow nurses and staff who are stepping up each and every day. And we met with
back it up
families
like
of young
to,
children,
like, 15,
and there were about, I guess,
02.
17, 18 families there waiting for the
'Cause
vaccine
that's
shots
what
or
the
have
part was.
just gotten their vaccine shots.
It's okay. It's YouTube. 1502, 1505, 1506, something like that. Yeah, right there.
To welcome him and the First Lady to our clinic earlier today, the President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Listen what he says.
As you could tell, I didn't want to leave the clinic. Children are wonderful. Thank you, Arsima, and for that introduction. And
I
Jill
don't know
and
if you heard that
were honored
because
to
he
visit your
sounded like
clinic
he was
today.
mumbling.
We met with your fellow.
But he said, he said right there, I will re-say what he said. He said,
Yeah, I heard.
that's why I'm late, because I was at the clinic, because those children are wonderful. So he wanted to stay with the children rather than like come read his little speech thing. So he really loves being with children. Yet again, he loves being around children, but that's not.
I mean, I love being
something to be
around
concerned
children,
about.
but I don't treat children the
You
same
don't
way.
sniff
So
them. You don't touch them. I don't think you do. If they're not
well,
yours.
I mean, not like in a weird way. Like
No, I
no,
mean
I don't-
touching their face and holding their.
No, I
their
don't
waist
do
and
that to
shit.
children. No.
Normal people don't do that. So I wonder what we missed during that feed. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was something that happened that they didn't want to put on the feed, or if they weren't supposed to have that on the first place, and they're, oh shit. I wonder what happened there. You know what I'm saying? I just wondered. But if you go to 22, the most important part is at that part. 22 minutes. Near the end with the question and answer. Yeah, about here. You'll see what I mean.
Or walked in the room to make sure I say, let them announce it, and then I'll speak to it.
Are you satisfied?
Let them announce it, and I'll speak to it.
Mr. President, are you confident you have, I know you're looking for more money from Congress for this vaccine campaign and for COVID funding going into fall. How much of the supply of vaccines for these small children is there, and how many of the nation's kids will you be able to get vaccinated before you need more money from Congress?
Well, we'll get through at least this year. We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. We have to think ahead. And that's not something
gonna
last
be another
outfit did
one.
very well. That's something we've been doing for fairly well. That's why we need the money. Thank you all.
That's why we need the money. There it is, right there. Like, if you want to know
Yep, I remember
everything
hearing
that they
that
said
before.
at Davos, we went over it at Davos. We knew what was going to happen. He says it out loud because that's the script. And it just all seems to come from the WEF. It's a lot of talking points that he mentions in the last couple of years that come from the WEF, which is interesting. And he will sometimes even like source them in his materials. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know the World Economic Forum. Thanks. So we can get him off the page now. So we're done with him forever for the night, for me anyway. Wait, no, what else do I have here? Oh no, I don't have that. I put that in the chat. Then we're good. No, wait, what is this? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that's just another lie that I have set up. I can do that on my show, though. Anyway, yes, that's the Biden stuff.
Barbara, is it your birthday coming up?
That's horrible. Everyone should have a birthday party at least once.
Barbara, we're going to throw you a birthday party. It will be online, but we're gonna throw Barbara a birthday party.
I wonder if it'll be the monkeypox pandemic next time. Do we get to choose? I want rabies, actually. I think I can handle rabies. I can handle it. I'm good.
You're good with rabies. I don't want I don't know.
Actually, monkeypox works best for me because I don't have sex. So yes, bring on the monkeypox is what. But I don't want
think
that
it
for the
spreads
other
that
people.
fucking way either. That's not even.
I don't
that's
want
not
that for them either. See, I'm not a selfish bitch. I'm not going to use the one that's not going to affect me, but affect all these other people. I'm not going to use that one. I want rabies.
No,
I don't want rabies.
I don't want any of those.
I don't want any of them either.
No, I don't want any of that. Like,
if
I
I
don't
could
want any
choose.
lesser of two fucking evil diseases either. You know, like, no.
Did I put that in the chat? I don't even know. No, I didn't. Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
General Meow Meow, we do. We have birthdays. My birthday's coming up in July. It's the very last day of July.
Ooh.
July 31st.
Oh, okay. At least you don't have a leap year thing. Some people have a leap year birthday.
I had my back surgery on leap year day.
So did it actually happen then?
On leap year, yeah. Like on the actual leap year day. February 29th.
Is there an anniversary for it?
So, like, does that mean, like, it's only every 4 years it counts as a year that I've had back surgery? Huh.
Right?
I always question that. My friend, actually, the day that I was having surgery, he's a roofer, and his the company he works for, I'm sure he still works there. All these years later, because that was like 2008, I think, or 2009. What year was that? I think it was 2008. Yeah, I think it was 2008. He was actually doing the roof on top of the hospital on the operating room roof the day that I was in surgery that day on leap year. So I'll have to when I get into my closet and pull out stuff, I'll have to pull it out to show you guys. I actually he took a piece of the roof, and it's a little like a square piece of the roof, and he put like the metal like flashing tape or whatever on it and like labeled it, and I have an actual piece of the roof of the operating room the day that I had my back surgery. From the hospital roof that I was like, I was in that hospital. So it's pretty funny. A souvenir of the roof of the hospital from the day I had my back surgery.
I just kept my bracelet. That's it. Not bracelet, wristband.
Yeah, I have
kept my
like that
wristband.
stuff too. But yeah.
That's all I kept. And it was from the last one. Wait, no, was it from 2014? I think it was 2014. Anyway, that's all I have for this YouTube broadcast. Everything else I want to say, I'm going to hold in my mouth until Rumble and the sex scandal is coming up too, because it's related to the overall conspiracy that's happening publicly with health.
Sex scandal.
So a sex scandal.
Somebody had a sexy time
arena.
scandal.
Not a sexy scandal. It's a sex abuse scandal, which is the worst kind. Involving people in charge of health stuff. So that will come up in
Well, I'm probably
Rumble
thinking
and
about a
Odyssey
different
for
one than you.
Yes.
So everybody, we should give you guys the links to where we're going. We are going to be on
she's
Rumble.
coming up next to General Meow Meow. Sorry to answer the question. Not to answer the question, but to say that she's coming up in the next go round too. We're going to mention her.
Okay. We are going to be over on Odyssey and on Rumble. Let me grab if you are not already on Odyssey and you would like to help us out, if you want to follow this link to make an Odyssey, it gives us credit and it gives you credit. And with the credits, it's actually library. It's kind of like Bitcoin type of deal, but it's their own Odyssey library tokens, and it helps both of us out because if you follow an invite, then you get it gives us credit and you credit. Like we both get. Oh my gosh, sorry, there's a little bug in front of me. We both get a library token. So that was for the Odyssey. And then if not, there's a Rumble. Please hit like before you go, before you leave the YouTube, the FedTube. If you hit the like button, it would be very much appreciated. I didn't notice if everybody was wrenched. Is everybody wrenched that we had in here?
I hope I didn't trigger Susan too much in this broadcast. I'm sorry, Susan, if it was hard for you to hear.
I know. I hope not too, because I think that I'm like that strike that I got. Remember, I got a strike and I couldn't stream. Remember?
Yeah.
I think that is gone now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good.
I think
that makes me feel better.
So let me make sure.
I went a little wild, and I apologize if it was too wild for Miss Wojcicki, whatever your name is.
Okay. So everybody, please hit a like before you head out. We don't have all of the likes. We had like 32 people watching, but I only see 26 likes. So if you haven't, if you could, we would appreciate a like. If you like the stream,
give us a like.
If you're new, we would love a subscribe.
Be a good mate and give us a like.
And we hope to see you on one of the other, on Odyssey or Rumble. I got some people over on the Odyssey coming in. Yes, I see ya. And we got some Rumble people over here. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that Rumble like button or the Odyssey like button for us. It really let's get ready to rumble. Because we gotta say goodbye to YouTube. It's just we gotta do it. We you know, like
that's what we gotta do.
Let me catch up on
these.
I
have one more bite for you.
Let me check up on this chat real quick while we're getting everybody over there, because we still have 19 people watching on the YouTube. But we do have, let's see, we have 14 on Odyssey. We got 12 on Rumble. Yes, Kate, sign up for Odyssey. Make sure you follow our link. That special link. It really does help.
Excuse me.
Oh, nice, Shelly. I like that. I like that. I like the icons and stuff like that they have on Odyssey, like the little things that they have over there.
You know, the things.
The emoji like things and all of that. Here, I'm gonna put the link for our Odyssey over on the Rumble too. And that way. Oh, yeah. And Steve also has one over here. He also has an Odyssey. So if you're not, you should follow him over there too, because we have different channel things. And I'll put that in both of those while we're getting everybody over to both. Yeah, because I only have 33 people following me over on Odyssey. Like that, I need more followers. I need the rest of you guys to follow me over here. I like their emojis though and stuff like that. They get some good ones. Shelly, it should have you as a mod. Are you a mod?
Do they have mods?
Oh yeah, you're already a
Oh
mod.
shit.
Over on Odyssey, I
Ah,
have mods.
Okay.
I don't know if they like prevent what we're like saying or anything like that. But I haven't noticed that they've like,
Oh no. Wake Up America and Resist. You missed the YouTube portion, but you can always replay it, no problem, during whatever activity you want to do so, or just watching it by yourself with no distractions. But there was a lot of info in this one that is YouTube ready and some not so YouTube ready, but enjoy when you get the chance to watch it again. But we're moving over to Odyssey and Rumble right now so we can get into the deep topics, the no-goes, the cove talk, as we like to say.
Yeah, the big
and some other stuff too. And the big G. We're getting into the big G over there too. So, yep. Big G, big C.
Oh, Barbara, we're doing a party for you. Just so you know, Barbara Boston, we're gonna do a party for you. We're gonna just surprise you and be like, "It's your birthday." We'll make up your birthday. We'll give you your own birthday if you want. Okay. You missed it. Come
Yeah,
over to
I
Rumble
responded
or
to that.
Odyssey. Come on
I just told
over. All right. Well, we still have 18 people that are on the YouTube right now. Are you guys also on Odyssey or Rumble? Is everybody over there? Let's see.
I see 13
We got
on the Odyssey.
18
19
and
on Rumble.
All right.
Riley's there. He's on Rumble.
All right. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between Odyssey and Rumble and doing all of this. Trish is here.
She's fine. She's here for the good shit. She's like, fuck it, I can watch that later, but I'm gonna stay tuned for the good shit.
Antoine. All right. So if you're still on YouTube, join us over on Odyssey and Rumble. If you need a link, did we put all the links in there? Do it one more time, and then we're gonna go. I know we give people like an extra amount of time, or like, just in case, like you're slow about it.
Go at your own pace.
Yeah.
Just like inflation.
And hit
We
like
talked about
wherever you're
inflation,
watching
Trish.
from.
Trish, we did recession talk at the beginning.
And
enjoy that.
Naked bicycle riding. There was some naked bicycle
Which was not
riding.
prompted by anyone.
That was something that I saw.
Okay.
And it was like, wow, this is a thing that looks uncomfortable.
I bet it is. I don't have
I don't want to sit on that bike. I don't want no one else. Like, that's a way to get no one else to ride your bike. Woo!
Oh man, imagine a rideshare program with that. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I decline.
I have my bike. I actually have a bike. Do I still want to be on? Yeah, I still want to go on Rockfin. I still do SFT. We're going over to Rumble and Odyssey. Yeah, I want a Rockfin because I feel like there's people there that don't know about the show that we could grow with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to put my eggs in one basket. I want to have lots of baskets with lots of eggs. And Mr. Wilson came on too. He came on earlier.
Yes, for
he tried
a finite amount of time.
to try to talk to us, but
Internet.
Pakistan, the internet in Pakistan can be touch and go, and like they're having outages there where like they have scheduled like rolling blackout type things, like they cut their power. So he's been dealing with that. But yes, we love Mr. Wilson. All right, I hope everybody has made it off of the YouTube and is on Rumble and Odyssey. Thomas, I love you. All right, you can get me on Twitter and we can talk more about that there.
Hey, I didn't even know that we were both going to have our ats from Twitter. That's funny.
That is funny. Oh my god.
I had a feeling. It was weird. It was a weird feeling. I was like, yeah, at Elle Latham, do it. You're going to not regret it.
Yeah, no, you should definitely always have it up there. It's easier. You know, I always like when I watch a show and they have their, you know, where their Twitter or something like that, where I can find them otherwise up on the screen because it makes it easier.
And
I'd be like, oh yeah, let me just go and add them real quick without having to like, you know, try to remember later on or something like that.
I'm so lucky to have my name too, like that nobody else can be at Elle Latham. Suck it. Because I looked up my name and then it came up with a different Elle Latham. I was like, sorry, girl. I took it.
All right. We are going to say peace out, YouTube.
Bye, Susan. We love you. Keep doing what you do, I guess. Say hello to Klaus for me.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, Klaus.